Hey yo pineapples, Ned Shearer back again with yet another brand new deck profile. I'm bringing to you my version of a Chaos Lightsworn build that I've been playing testing for a little over a week now. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and this is just my version of it. It's a 50 card main consisting of, I think it's 38 monsters and 12 spell cards. A couple of things before I get started. This deck doesn't really have a set play like the other decks that you can just end on the same board over and over again, because it's Lightsworn and it relies so much on milling. As I said, there's not really a set board per se. So if you wish to see me do some test hands, by all means leave them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to post just a sort of, I don't know, 10 to 15 minute video of doing some test hands, or maybe I can do a live thing on YouTube if you really want to see that. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it. Starting off with the monster lineup, I play 2 Judgment Dragon. No, I don't think any deck is, well, it's not totally true, but most of the Lightsworn builds that I've been seeing play at least 1. You're more than welcome to get away with 1. I've decided to throw in 2 just for that extra sort of, because it's not only is it a finisher card, but it's also a card that you can use for link climbing and link plays and etc. like that. And it's another discard fodder if you really needed to. So more than welcome to get away with 2. With 1, I play 2. And then the Lightsworn monsters I play are 3 of the best one, which is Raid and Hand of the Lightsworn. Best Lightsworn monster probably currently released, I would have, in the main deck anyway. 3 Lumina, because it's Lumina. Probably could get away with only playing 2 Lumina and then throwing in some other tech supports like a Lila or the Twilight Lumina instead, but I decided to go 3 and 3. And then I play 3 Wolf and 2 Felice, just for the consistency purposes. Felice is another one that I would consider playing maybe one of, and then throwing Lila, Gareth, the Twilight, Lumina, etc. like that. So they're the 11 Lightsworn monsters that I play. Going on to the Chaos variant of the deck, it is 2 Chaos Valkyrie. I really like this card. For those who don't know what it does, you can special summon it from the hand. You special summon it from the hand by banishing a light or dark monster from your graveyard. And then it's also got the effect of, if this card is banished, you can send 1 card from your deck to your graveyard. Or is it specifically monster? I actually don't remember. A light or dark monster. There we go. From your deck to your graveyard. But you can't activate its effects, or its effects are negated till the end of the turn. That's the only thing. So there's a cute little combo that I do with this when I'll get to it, and I'll show you what that is. We play 1 of each: 1 white dragon, Wyver Buster, 1 black dragon, Collapse Serpent, because they're totally busted. 1, the Chaos Creator, another fairly newish card. What this one does is it requires a light and a dark monster to be banished from the grave to special it from hand. And then once a turn, you can target 3, if this card was special summoned from your hand, you can target 3 banished monsters with different names, special summon 1 of them, and then return the other 2 to the bottom of the deck. So it's really good for extending players, and it's also really good for recycling your cards when needed to as well. So it's another really good card. And I also play 2 Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, again, extender, and good for banishing 3 lights to special summon a monster from the graveyard to continue either Xe, Synchro, Link Climb. They're all very, very good. This ratio for me has been very, very, very good. I wouldn't consider running any more Chaos Creator just because it's a hard once per turn for its effects. Valkyrie, you can probably play 1 of if you really choose for it. The same with the Chaos Legionnaire. But just seeing them is probably more beneficial in the long run, so I play 2 of them each. Then I play 1 Starlight Cyphered. I would 100% bump this up to 2, but unfortunately I don't own a second one. So if you do plan on testing this deck or a variant of this deck, definitely run. My recommendation would be to run 2 of this, just because it's so good to recycle your cards and then make your plays go off as well. So definitely run 2 of that. I play a small danger package of 1 Jackalope, 1 Tsuchinoko, 1 Nessie or 1 Chupacabra, and 2 Mothman. It's just a small engine just to get brick monsters out of your brick cards out of your hand, like the wolves and the Felices and stuff like that, and also to draw into other cards, because you want to use the resources in the graveyard to continue on with your plays. And then a small clown engine of 1 damage juggler, 1 trick clown, and 2 hat tricker. I've opted for 2 hat tricker, just because I have a bad habit of milling the wrong cards at the wrong time, and having the second one as an option increases the ceiling for the deck to continue to go off and make extreme amounts of boards. It's so great what this card can do for the deck. And then 1 of each of the others, just because they're better to be milled than they are to see in your opening, see in a hand, and this is better to see in a hand. So that's them. And I'm also running weirdly 3 Parallel Exceed. The reason why I'm running Parallel Exceed is because once you link summon for, spoiler alert, the Halka Firebrax that I play, you drop this and then summon another one, and it's a free rank 4 right there, or it's another free Appaloosa, or it's literally anything you want it to be. Most of the time it's a rank 4, so you can just drop it for Abyss Dweller, so they can't play anything. So you can get away with playing 2. I just like the safety net of having the third one in case if I do play 2, I mill 1 and then I can't go off with the Parallel Exceed play. So I play 3 just for that reason. You're more than welcome to play 2 if you so choose for it. And then the one-offs I play 1 Photon Thrasher just because it's Photon Thrasher. It's literally a free summon and your best opening card to play. The cards I chose for Needle Fiber are Jet Synchron and Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line. This is great if you mill it, and then this is just all-round busted for a 1 card. What's his name? Appaloosa. So really, really good cards. And then the only other card I play was the Archlord Christia. There is a version of the deck that you can do, which is you play Union Hanger and the Dragon Whelp. I don't have Union Hanger, so I've opted for the quote-unquote budget version, which is just making so that if I banish the Valkyria, as soon as I can find it. So if I banish Valkyria, I can send this to the graveyard. I think this is how it works anyway. So you banish this to send this to the grave. Then you can special this via way of Levianir or whatever. Its effects are negated till the end of the turn because it was sent off with the Valkyria. So you can continue to special summon and make your board. And that way for their turn, you've got a Christia on your field. So it does work in the testing I've done. It's very, very... I wouldn't say consistent, but it's very good. The only thing that the hanger opts for is the fact that if you happen to have the extra monster on the field, you can just, and it's just a dead card for the following turn, you can just link it off, make the hanger, set the whelp. They can't special from the extra deck. This shuts everyone off from special summoning, so that's the only downside to this. But yeah, I like this bit. I like this bit. This is, and it's a light monster, so if you really need to, you can just banish it and then special summon it off the Dark Creator if you really, the Chaos Creator if you really needed to. So that's the 37 monsters that I play, and then, 38 monsters that I play. The 12 spells consist of 3 Solar Recharge. It's a Lightsworn deck. I think you need to play 3, along with the 3 Charge of the Light Brigade. I think you're bonkers if you don't play 3 of this, and probably any Lightsworn deck at this stage, just because it's so good. And then we play 3 Chaos Space. For those who don't know what Chaos Space does, you send a light or dark monster from hand to grave to search your deck for a light or dark monster whose level is levels 4 to 8 of the opposite attribute of the card that you discarded. So if you discarded a light monster, you add a dark monster. If you discarded a dark monster, you add a light monster. Its other effect is while it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 banished light or dark monster from your graveyard that cannot be normal summoned or set. Put it to the bottom, draw a card. Oh, and the other condition, if you search, the monster you search can't be normal summoned or set. So that's literally any of your chaos monsters. You just drop a card, drop a monster to search any of these. If you really need to, you can search Judgment Dragon with it as well, because it can't be normal summon or set. So really, really good card, and it's... Oh, I just love this card to death. So good. And then the power one-offs of Foolish Burial, Rhoda to search out your Photon Thrasher, and then the 1 power Monster Reborn as well, to round off the 50-card main deck. It is subject to change more than likely, and probably everyone has their own version of this deck as well. So I really like to see what your versions are. By all means, if there's something that I'm missing, or there's something that I wish that you probably would consider me adding, by all means, let me know, and I'll endeavor to either attempt to pick it up, or endeavor to. I would definitely consider it. That's what I'll definitely do. Going on to the extra deck in the way of 3 Synchro monsters of Borrowload Savage, Michael, and Cybers Quantum Dragon. Now, in the decks that I've seen, they've only been playing 2, so they play like 1 of each of these, or 1 and probably like FA Dawn Dragster or something like that. I've opted for these 3 to start with. Borrow Savage is Borrow Savage. I don't really think I need to explain Borrow Savage too much, but I've opted for these. Michael is just your good going second, single board, single card out to stuff. And I've chosen this because it's good going first and second, because it's the only thing that can be targeted for battle or card effects while you control a link monster. And if it battles a monster, you can just bounce that to the hand, and if it's your turn, it can attack again. So I think this is a really good going first and second card. Going first and second option. This is primarily for going second. I suppose you can use it for going first just to get the more mills. And then Borrowload Savage is Borrowload Savage. There's not much to say about that. Xyz monsters, I play 1 Minerva, 1 Abyss Dweller, and 1 number 60. These 2, I would say, are mandatory. It's a Lightsworn. I'm going to keep saying this. It's a Lightsworn deck, so I think at least 1 Minerva in every deck would probably be advisable. 1 Abyss Dweller, because it's an all-round good card. And then this is my flex spot. I actually wanted to run Hope Harbinger, but unfortunately I can't find my Hope Harbinger. So I've decided to play this instead. Either getting a draw or the next special summon, which is really, really good. And it's also good for OTK plays. Doubling a monster's attack points and then just ramming into it. So really, there's still solid cards all around. Again, this is a flex spot, so you could literally play whatever card you wished for. You could also just cut this entirely and play Union Hanger if you have that option as well. So that's what I decided to play. And then the 9 Link monsters of the Link 4, starting with Appaloosa, the Boral Sword to kill people, and the Skeldred. If you wish, you can make this Access Code Talker. I just think having the double attack is probably more sufficient. But the big Access Code Talker is probably a lot easier to make. So if you wish to play Access Code Talker, I won't say no. Sorry, just to get through your deck a bit more, and then an Appaloosa is Appaloosa. Link 3s, I play 1 Curious. Don't really make that all that often, but it is for those niche instances. It's a very, very useful card. And then 1 Nightmare Unicorn just for the spot removal as well. And then Link 2s, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Helka Firebrax, and then 1 IP Masquerena. Helka Firebrax gets you to do a combo. There was another thing that I was testing, is I was running the 1 level 3 Minerva as another target for the Helka Firebrax. You're more than welcome to try that if you wish to. Masquerena is Masquerena, and Phoenix is just another good spot remover. And I play the 1 Link Karibo for the Jet Synchron plays as well. So that wraps it up for my Chaos Lightsworn build. I hope you enjoyed this deck list. I hope you got something out of it as well. Any tips, tricks, or queries about the deck, by all means, leave them in the comments below. I will endeavor to read them all. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you ever so much for watching, and as I always say, take care of yourselves, guys.